You've seen him. He's leaning against a rented Lamborghini the color of a highlighter, talking into his phone. He's 22. He's wearing a watch that costs more than your college tuition, and he's telling you that fiat is dead and that you, yes, you, can achieve financial freedom by investing in a crypto coin named after a dog you've never heard of. He calls his followers the Wolf Pack or the Diamond Hands crew. He promises returns that are guaranteed and to the moon. Let's be honest, a part of us, the part that's staring down student debt and impossible housing prices, wants to believe him. The desire for a shortcut, for a secret key to unlock wealth is powerful. These financial influencers, or finfluencers, have built empires by tapping into that desire. They sell a dream packaged in a 30-second video. But what's the real price of this supposedly free advice? What are the hidden costs buried beneath the flashy lifestyle and the confident jargon? The truth is, the advice they're peddling is often not just bad, it's dangerous. It's financial junk food designed to be addictive, not nutritious. Today, we're activating the GENSHIFT lie detector. We're going to expose the 5 most dangerous lies finfluencers tell you about investing. If you're tired of the hype and ready for the truth, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. You're going to want to see this. The problem, why we fall for finfluencers. So why are these finfluencers so ridiculously effective? It's not an accident. They are masters of psychological manipulation, whether they know it or not. First, they leverage social proof. When you see a video with millions of views and thousands of comments saying, "This changed my life," your brain's shortcut is to think, this must be legit. It's a herd mentality, hardwired into our DNA for survival, now being used to sell you on a pump and dump crypto scheme. Second, they exploit our deep-seated fear of missing out, or FOMO. They create a sense of urgency, a feeling that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and the train is leaving the station right now. This triggers a panic response that bypasses critical thinking. You're not investing, you're reacting. But the most critical piece of the puzzle is the hidden business model. The vast majority of these finfluencers are not licensed financial advisors. Their income doesn't come from brilliant investing prowess. It comes from brand deals, affiliate links, and selling overpriced courses. They have a direct financial incentive to promote specific products, creating a massive conflict of interest. Regulatory bodies like the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, have issued repeated warnings about this, noting that finfluencers often fail to disclose that they are being paid to promote a stock. They aren't your guide, they're a salesperson. And today, we're going to teach you how to see past the sales pitch. Lie number 1. This is a risk-free investment. This is the big one, the foundational lie upon which countless scams are built. You'll hear it in phrases like guaranteed returns, can't miss opportunity, or there's literally no downside. If you ever hear these words, you should not walk, but sprint in the opposite direction. Here is the single most important rule in all of finance. There is no such thing as a high-return, risk-free investment. It does not exist, it never has, and it never will. Investing is fundamentally built on a concept called the risk-reward trade-off. Imagine a seesaw. On one end, you have risk. On the other, you have potential reward. If you want higher potential rewards, you must accept taking on more risk. If you want near zero risk, you must accept near zero returns, like the interest from an insured savings account, which often doesn't even keep up with inflation. Anyone promising you the upside of a skyrocketing stock with the safety of a savings account is either lying or delusional. As the SEC warns, claims of high returns with little or no risk are a classic hallmark of fraud. Real investing isn't about eliminating risk. It's about managing it. This starts with understanding your personal risk tolerance, how much volatility you can emotionally and financially handle without panic selling at the worst possible moment. A 21-year-old with a stable income has a very different risk tolerance than a 30-year-old saving for a down payment they need in 6 months. Finfluencers ignore this because their advice isn't tailored to you. It's broad, generic, and designed to lure the masses, which means it's effectively useful to no one. The counter principle is simple but powerful. Investing is always a calculated trade-off. Understand the risks before you even think about the rewards. Lie number 2. You can get rich quick with this one stock. This is the lie that feeds our desire for a lottery ticket win. The Finfluencer whispers about a secret penny stock or a revolutionary tech company that's about to 100x. They make it feel like you're getting in on the ground floor of the next big thing. The reality? You're more likely to get in on the ground floor of a building with no elevator. This strategy, known as speculative stock picking or day trading, is statistically a losing game for almost everyone who tries it. Academic studies are brutal on this point. One landmark study of day traders in Brazil found that a staggering 97% of them lost money. Another found that the average individual investor who actively trades underperforms a simple market index by 6.5% annually. You would literally make more money by doing nothing. Why? Because trying to time the market and pick individual winners is like trying to catch lightning in a bottle. The market is fundamentally unpredictable in the short term. The real path to building wealth is far more boring, but infinitely more effective. A long-term mindset powered by the magic of compound interest. Compound interest is when your returns start earning their own returns, creating an exponential snowball of growth over time. It's a force of nature, but it needs one crucial ingredient: time. Decades, not days. For instance, the S&P 500, a basket of 500 of the largest U.S. companies, has historically returned an average of around 10% per year over the long run. That's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-slowly but surely plan. The counter principle is a reality check. Wealth isn't built in a sprint. It's built over a marathon of consistent, patient investing. Lie number 3. I made millions. You can too. This is the lie of the perfect narrative. The influencer shows you their wins. They post screenshots of their accounts on green days. They celebrate that one lucky stock pick that went parabolic. What they never show you are the losses, the bad bets, the sleepless nights, and the crushing anxiety when a trade goes wrong. You're only seeing the highlight reel, not the bloopers. This is a powerful cognitive trap known as survivorship bias. We make judgments based on the survivors, the winners we see, because the failures are invisible. For every influencer who got lucky on a meme stock, thousands of people tried the same thing and lost everything, but they aren't making viral videos about it. They're silent. The classic example of survivorship bias comes from World War II. The military wanted to add armor to their planes, so they studied the returning aircraft to see where they were hit most by enemy fire. Their initial thought was to reinforce those areas, but a statistician named Abraham Wald pointed out their mistake. They should be reinforcing the areas where the returning planes had no bullet holes, like the engines. The planes hitting those spots weren't making it back at all. They were only studying the survivors. When you base your investment strategy on a Finfluencer success story, you're making the same mistake. You're studying the plane that made it home, not the hundreds that didn't. You have no idea if they got lucky, if they're omitting their failures, or if their entire story is fabricated. The counter principle is to be a data-driven skeptic. Look for historical performance data and evidence, not just compelling anecdotes. Lie number 4. Just copy my trades to get rich. This lie is so tempting because it promises to remove the hardest part of investing, thinking. The Finfluencer presents themselves as a guru, and all you have to do is mimic their moves to achieve the same results. It's the ultimate financial shortcut, but it's also a trap because it's based on a dangerously flawed premise that a single financial strategy fits everyone. Following someone else's trading strategy is like trying to wear their shoes. Even if they have great shoes, they almost certainly won't fit you. Your financial life is unique. A strategy that makes sense for a Finfluencer who is 25, single, has a high income, and a massive appetite for risk could be financially catastrophic for you if you're a college student with $500 to your name and a goal of not losing it. Their goals are not your goals, their timeline is not your timeline, and most importantly, their risk tolerance is not your risk tolerance. Maybe they can afford to lose $50,000 on a speculative bet. Can you? Blindly copying trades ignores the most important person in your financial journey, you. It outsources your decision-making to someone who has no legal or ethical obligation to act in your best interest. Unlike a certified financial professional, they face zero consequences if their advice causes you to lose your entire savings. In fact, they might even be engaging in a classic pump and dump scheme where they hype a stock to get their followers to buy in and drive up the price, only to sell their own shares at the peak, leaving everyone else holding the bag. The counter principle is non-negotiable. Your investment strategy must be tailored to your unique goals, timeline, and personality. The truth. Principles for safe and smart investing. So after all that myth-busting, what's the alternative? How do you actually invest safely and effectively in a world full of financial noise? It comes down to 4 timeless, evidence-based principles. Think of this as your Finfluencer lie detector, a checklist to protect your capital and your future. 1. Diversify. This is the only free lunch in investing. It means don't put all your eggs in one basket. Instead of trying to pick one winning stock, you own a small piece of many different companies. The easiest way to do this is through low-cost index funds or ETFs, which are like baskets that hold hundreds or even thousands of stocks at once. If one company in the basket goes bankrupt, it barely makes a dent. 2. Invest for the long term. The stock market is volatile in the short term, but historically it has always gone up over the long term. Stop checking your portfolio every day. Think in terms of decades, not days. Let compound interest do the heavy lifting for you. 3. Know yourself. Before you invest a single dollar, you need to understand your own financial situation and personality. What are your goals? When do you need the money? And how would you feel if your portfolio dropped 20% in a month? This is your risk tolerance, and it should be the foundation of your entire strategy. 4. Educate yourself from credible sources. Finfluencers can be a starting point for curiosity, but they should never be your only source. Cross-reference everything. Read books, check information from regulatory bodies like the SEC or the UK's Financial Conduct Authority. The most valuable investment you will ever make is in your own financial literacy. These principles aren't flashy or exciting. They won't make you a millionaire overnight, but they are the proven, time-tested blueprint for building sustainable, long-term wealth. Conclusion. The world of online financial advice is a minefield. It's designed to prey on our hopes and our fears, promising the world while often delivering nothing but risk. But your greatest defense is the tool you've been sharpening this whole time: skepticism. While Finfluencers might offer a spark of inspiration to get you interested in your finances, they are not a substitute for genuine financial education. The secret to investing isn't a secret at all. It's about discipline, patience, and a commitment to learning. The most powerful financial advisor you will ever have is yourself, but only if you're willing to put in the work. You don't need a guru, you need a plan. So let's start a real conversation. What is the single most outrageous lie a Finfluencer has ever told you? Drop it in the comments below. Let's expose them together. And for more evidence-based insights to protect your finances and build real wealth, make sure you subscribe to GENSHIFT.